A lot of women are not stuck because they're incapable. They're stuck because they are avoiding data that feels emotionally loaded. What avoidance feels safe in the moment, but quietly it steals its power. Any of these resonate with you? Today, we're going to talk about awareness without judgment because you cannot change what you refuse to face. And it's also not at all helpful to hate yourself into healing. Those things don't work. So this class is going to be all about how to shift your mindset about data. We are going to create awareness without judgment. We are going to tell the truth about where we are, but we're not going to turn on ourselves. We're not going to go into shame. We're not going to go into self-loathing. We're not going to do any of those. We're just going to collect data. Awareness without judgment. Okay, one of the most disempowering things you can do is to keep your head in the sand and call it peace. I hear it all day long. Well, it's better for me if I don't know. I don't want to know how much I weigh. I don't want to know my body fat. I don't want to know how much muscle I've lost. We do that to protect ourselves, but not knowing is not protecting your peace. It is delaying your power. Every time you do that, you push off taking control of what is going on right now in your life, in your body, even though desperately you want to change. So at PowerShift, we ain't doing the shame thing. We're not doing emotional spirals, downward facing spiral. We're not doing that. We are not doing emotional self-abuse. We are doing awareness. We are going to do awareness because it gives us options, and options give us power. So are we ready? Why would we avoid the truth? Okay. And I've got a whole bunch of data in here for you. So, because I love things that my brain can go, that is true. I can trust it. So be prepared for that for this class. Women often avoid numbers because we have attached our identity to it. We've attached our self-worth. We attach failure. We attach success. We attach shame. And so the scale becomes a moral judgment on you, and body fat becomes personal, and weight becomes emotional. And so therefore you don't see the data, you like become the data. And what we're looking for is information. We're not looking for an indictment. If self-loathing and self-flagellation were going to work, it would have worked by now. That's not what we're trying to do. What we're trying to do is change the whole mindset about knowing where you are so that you can change it. I know that we're trying to avoid disappointment, and we're trying to avoid shame and confirmation of what you think you already know. Because here's the thing, you already know. And my counselor, I had a year of counseling twice a week. It was traumatic. It's more traumatic than the trauma itself. But he taught me something. He taught me that it's never as bad as you think it is. And I think that goes for this right here. But sometimes you think it'll just be confirmation. But I promise it's not as bad as you think it is. I think sometimes like we feel behind, or we feel like we're let ourselves go. But that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to gather information so that we can lead ourselves, not punish ourselves. Can we get on board with that? So the heart of this class is what's different in our minds about awareness versus judgment. Awareness says, this is where I am. This is what's true. This is what my body is currently doing. This is useful. Remember that. This is useful. This is useful. Be a scientist, not a judge. I actually have a Post-it right underneath my webcam that says, be a scientist, not a judge. Collect. Be curious. This is useful. I wonder why it's this way. Like, we're not trying to condemn ourselves. We're just collecting. I'm disgusting. I've ruined everything. I always do this. I'll never change. Those are not useful at all. Awareness creates strategy, and judgment creates paralysis. Don't you think it would be more effective and beneficial for you if you had a strategy to change instead of a judgment that just puts you right back into the same loops, into the same patterns? So if you let's use the muscle. If you've lost muscle, I know I've lost muscle, that's useful. I know that my body fat is higher than I want it to be. That is useful. I know my energy is tanked, my sleep is off, and my habits are inconsistent. That's useful. None of that requires drama. It requires leadership. You don't need to panic. You need a plan. So here are some science-based facts that you can count on. And I've got 5 of them. I'm going to read them for you. Like I said, I love data. Self-monitoring is strongly linked to better behavior change outcomes. So research consistently shows that self-monitoring things, okay, so we're going to tracking, duh, right? It's why we all wear these. It's why counting in PowerShift, we count our water, we count our steps, we count our food. We are aware, not so we can be psycho about it and weird. It's so that because things like tracking your movement and your food and your weights and your habits is one of the most effective behavior change tools. Period. So let that just sit with that for a second. Tracking is one of the very best things to do if you want to change where you are because it increases awareness and follow through. Reviews of behavior change interventions repeatedly identify self-monitoring, feedback, and goal setting. Somebody told me one time, it was a doctor. I remember this. So it was a doctor and she was looking at my blood work and she said, and I said, I've lost 30 pounds. And this was probably a year ago. So I'd kept it off for 18 months, 2 years. And she said, most people don't keep it off. What would you attribute that to? And so we were talking and she said, the number one thing that people is they weigh themselves every day. Now, I know that sounds crazy, right? Like, because I think there was such a stigma of like body issues that we don't want to know. We're just going to feel the way we feel and we're going to judge by that. It doesn't work. It's not effective. This is not to judge ourselves. It's to create awareness. I want to know when the scale goes up. Sometimes it just goes up because I'm 48 and I'm a woman and it just wants to, but does it go up consistently? That's when I know, okay, hold on. Something's different in my body. Is it hormones? Is it my food? Is it my workouts? And then I go back to tracking again. And then the data will show me where the gap is. So number 2, so tracking, number 1. Number 2, people who stay the most consistent with self-monitoring are most likely to get results. So research has shown that people with higher adherence to self-monitoring and behavior goals had greater odds of achieving a 5% weight loss or more. Because what matters is modest changes can produce meaningful health benefits. So I was thinking about this, like if you weigh 150 pounds, 10% body fat, 10% body weight is 15 pounds. That's significant. Wouldn't you feel so much better in your body? Don't think that it has to be so drastic. It can be small incremental changes. Okay, so number 3, you do not need a dramatic, it's like a transformation to improve your health. 10% reduction in body weight is associated with meaningful improvements in blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar, and risk for chronic disease. For someone at 200 pounds, that's 20 pounds, not 50 pounds. So 10% will make a very big difference. And so it stops that perfectionism trap of, well, if I can't do it all the way, why should I even start? Because 15, 20 pounds will make a very big difference. Okay, number 4 factoid for you. Midlife women often experience that are not just in their head. Research shows, and we can all look in the mirror and go, duh, that menopause transition is commonly associated with increased fat mass, more abdominal fat, and decreases in lean muscle mass, which is exactly why awareness matters more, not less in this season. I'll say it again. Awareness matters more in this season, not less, even though our bodies are acting completely loony. If you don't know that it's changing, you cannot respond appropriately. Period. And the last thing, resistance training helps protect what women are actually losing. So we know that in this study that they're citing right here for me is resistance training improves key health and body composition in postmenopausal women, reinforcing the message that we should not just chase smaller, we need to build muscle, right? We know that. And if we don't know that by now, let this be another sign to you that we absolutely need that. Okay. What gets measured gets managed. Numbers are not magic, but the brain does better with clarity rather than confusion. When it's all here, it's emotional, it's overwhelming, it's so big. When we put it on a piece of paper, when we download it in an app, when we put it somewhere that it can be managed, it stops us from being stuck because specific gets us into movement. A woman who knows what's a woman who avoids the truth stays in reaction mode. That's not us. That's not us in PowerShift. So we are not tracking to become neurotic. We are tracking to become informed. So what I don't want you to do is take it to the nth degree and obsess over every ounce, every calorie. It just means that we're going to stop hoping it'll be better, wishing it was different, eating healthy, doing more, doing better, like all of these things that don't mean anything. Awareness means everything. So here are 6 things that I want you to track that you could like. And the thing is, you would be smart to not just track one, track all of them, because weight is important to track, but weight doesn't mean everything. We know that muscle weighs more than fat. So I could be smaller, look leaner, and weigh the same exact amount. And this is true in bodybuilding. I weighed the exact same amount through body fat 22, I think is where I started. And then I didn't really start dropping weight till I was less than like 15% body fat. That's a significant difference in a woman. And I weighed the same amount the entire time. It was funny. And I was changing. My body was changing so dramatically that the weight didn't bother me. But if I've got more to lose, or I'm in more of an emotional situation, such as perimenopause, things could get emotional really quickly. So you do want to measure your weight, but you also want to measure all the other things, because one could be changing while the other one is stationary, and vice versa. You will see some ebb and flow in there. You're not going to measure your self-worth based on weight. That's ridiculous. We don't do that. We are grown-ups. We don't do that. But pretending like it doesn't exist is not leading yourself well. So we're going to know it, whether we like it or not, we're going to know it. Body fat. I really want you to track body fat, because excess body fat is one of the key indicators in a lot of diseases, that's where obesity is. It's like, especially when we get older and it sits in your tummy area, that's not just about aesthetic. That is visceral fat. And what visceral fat is, it squeezes your organs. And so and that's a lot of cortisol, a lot of stress. So we've got to know what our body fat is, because body fat changes everything. We don't want excess body fat. There's no way that is good. And there's no way that we need to stay there. So we've got to know, because like when we're losing weight, let's say we lost 15 pounds, but all of it's muscle and your body fat's the same. Okay, that's useful information. Now we know we need to do something a little bit different. Okay, number 3, track your muscle mass. And so you can track all of these things. There's a gazillion little scanners out there. So do a deep dive. What's around you? That somebody that has an InBody machine, those are in most supplement stores, gyms, trainers, spas. It's InBody. It's one word, InBody. That's a great place to track body fat, weight, muscle mass, because muscle is your metabolism. So you will burn more calories when you have more muscle on your body. Therefore, you can eat more calories. Don't you want to know that? I want to know that. I love food. I want to eat a lot of food. Well, the more muscle I have on my body, not only do I look better, but I get to eat more. I'm stronger. I'm fit. I've got more energy. So track your muscle mass. Number 4, measurements, photos, how clothes fit. Very important. And for me, the pictures really matter. So pictures, I think, are super important because everything else doesn't really tell the entire story. Photos for me, I'm like, okay, I can't argue with that, because I'm a great arguer. I'm a great arguer. We'll just leave it there. Pictures are truth. So highly recommend. Track your sleep. Track how you feel as far as fatigue goes, energy level goes, recovery goes. Your body is going to communicate with you through that. And it's important that you listen. And then food awareness. nothing could be more important if you're trying to lose body fat, you're trying to lose weight. You just need to know that it's not punishment, it's just honesty. I think a lot of us, and I'm really just speaking for myself because I feel like I got caught in this trap for a long time. Well, I eat healthy. Well, I eat great. And compare this one might land with you. This one landed with me. Well, I eat better than most people. I do. I always have. That doesn't mean that I wasn't 30 pounds overweight. You see, the two are not the same. So we're just not going to do people. We're not going to say I eat healthy. We're not going to do that. We're just going to know exactly what we put on our body and how much fat it has in it, how much protein it has, how many carbs and how many calories. We just need to know that. And is it Fitness Pal? Is that what it is? I don't know. Now I can't remember. What's the app? I think, well, now you're just going to sit with me. Hold on. I think that's the one I used, right? I'm having a perimenopausal moment if you can't tell. You're watching this and you're like screaming at me. I know what it is. MyFitnessPal. I was right. The first 7 times I said it. Free app that will track all that food for you. And I eat the same things pretty much every day. Or, I mean, within the week, I eat the same things. And so it's really easy for me to track that because I'm like, well, I had that meal input there. Keep your food basic. Okay, so this is our framework. This is where we're gonna land the plane on data. What is true? Data. Decision. What needs to change? And then discipline. What am I willing to do consistently? That is where another truth bomb needs to enter the equation is you have to be very truthful with yourself about what you're willing to do consistently. Because if you don't go to the gym at all and you don't have any movement in your life and you're like, I'm going to commit to 13,000 steps a day and I can do it. And then the first day you get 7,000 steps and you feel like a failure. That's not what we're doing here. I need you to what are you willing to do consistently for you? And so if it's 7,000 to 8,000 steps a day, that's where you start. And then you're just going to collect data. Do I need to move more? For me, I absolutely needed to move more because I could feel it in my body and I could see it on the scale and I could see it in the data points, but you got to have some place to start. And can you do it consistently? Okay, show up. Let's roll. Let's roll. Okay. Most women skip straight to emotion. They feel bad, they panic, they overreact, they restrict, and then they quit. At PowerShift, we do it differently. We gather the data, we make a decision, and then we build discipline. Data, decision, discipline. That is what we're looking for. So we do not need to be ashamed of where we are. We do not need to hate ourselves and hate our body into changing it. We're not going to punish ourselves into progress. Those things don't work because if they did, they would have worked by now. We are going to be honest because honesty is where the power truly comes back. Awareness is where the control comes back. And when you stop making the truth mean something, then that's when you're free enough to actually change it. Because awareness without judgment is how we take our power back.